Yeah, it's still washed out. Is this working? Let me try this. Takes a while for it to adjust. Let's see if this works a little better. It said I had poor system performance. I was trying to record the first, I guess this is a test of a diary entry, which would be my first time using this device to record what I have been recording for almost 20 years on an audio tape recorder. I've kept audio diaries for almost 20 years. Some are lost. My son has some, I hope, in a box in the basement, and I got a whole bunch here for the last year or so. But we're rapidly coming to an end of a taped diary kind of age. So I have to figure out a way to do this digitally. My fear is that by using the computer to record this type of entry, I'm going to use up an awful lot of memory. So perhaps I could record these on some kind of a basis and then burn them to a CD, which perhaps I'll try to do. Being an old fart, I'm kind of new to this technology, and I've never made a CD before. But anyway, it is June 2nd. It's Wednesday, June 2nd, 2010, here on Prince Edward Island in the beautiful little seaside rough-hewn community of Summerside, on the central west side of the island, where it's a overcast, rather mild afternoon, but it didn't rain today. Thank goodness it's a little warmer than it's been, and would have been a good fishing day today, to be honest, but did not get a chance to do that today. Did go out to Waterfront Mall and picked up a newspaper, which is my retiree tradition here. Grab a paper. I am looking for a new apartment because I'm not really that pleased with this place, but also I'm not super motivated to move anywhere because frankly I don't know how long I'm going to be here. Saying that for years, and every time I've tried to go home it hasn't worked out very well. But now I'm darned with a little bit more money, not much, but enough to move and enough to reestablish myself perhaps in the States. No doubt that eventually I will have to leave, but did talk to Alexis briefly on Facebook. She was trying to get rid of her kittens. And only, as usual, as with both of the kids, only have a few seconds for the old man. And I often feel like I'm intruding in their space when I try to talk to them. I know they have things to say and they have lots of questions and things, but perhaps some things are better left unsaid or unrevealed. I usually tell them to go read one of my blogs if they want to get more information about the past. At least from my point of view. I am remiss that I haven't written anything, really penned anything since I got out of hospital here in March. And even before, I hadn't written anything since the last day of December of '09. It's a journal entry called Blue Moon of December, I believe, or something like that on one of my blogs. But I have to be more diligent, but I have to be in the mood to write. I just can't sit down and start writing an essay or poetry or something like that. I just haven't felt really that motivated, and it's nearly every day that I miss my ex-wife, Shelley. She prefers Michelle, but Michelle Sexton, and I guess she did get exiled from the island here. Exile is probably the wrong word. I think asked to leave was more likely because she was working for the Best of PEI store in Charlottetown without a work visa. And she said it was fine, but I knew there were going to be problems with it. She blames me for getting removed from the island. And everybody seems to say that she married this Paul Perry guy from Gallant Insurance here in town, who I met, perhaps not under the best of circumstances, but I don't know exactly if that's true, untrue. I mean, it must be pretty tough to divorce one guy and then marry the next guy within a few weeks, and then get within a few leave the island to go back to live home with mom, because Shell had told me that she just couldn't deal with that. She died. She had to go back there because her family was never particularly nice to her anyway, other than her mother. And even her mother was pretty rude to her as a child, from what I understand. But I miss my disenfranchised family, my nieces, my nephews, my brothers-in-law, my sisters-in-law. I mean, we used to have a lot of fun up in Colorado. We used to drive from Phoenix to just south of Denver there, see Shell's mom, and then Shell's sister Marcy and her brother-in-law Brett. Her brother-in-law Joel Koenig. They have a big ranch up in Grover and Carpenter, Wyoming, Grover, Colorado, and that area. And I have a lot of good memories going up there, shooting and drinking beer and hanging out at the Western. It is Western. These people are cowboys, no doubt. And I always felt it was really fun when I had money. I used to drive up in my Benz or my Corvette, and I think they kind of were offended by me. But it took them a decade. They finally accepted me, and then ultimately she decided, for some good reasons, that we shouldn't be together. But I do miss the girl, and she, in her last email, said she never wanted to speak to me again. And I hope someday she changes her mind. Let me know how she's doing. I am curious. But that month, that January, when I got the final divorce papers from Shell, and my sister died in October, and I had to deal with the disposition of her stuff, and it was not good. I couldn't get any help from the kids. Joey wouldn't go near the place. He wouldn't help me get rid of the stuff or take charge of anything, because his mom, Rhonda, had scared him into thinking he'd somehow be responsible for something. So I had to do everything remotely, and all of the family possessions, other than what Joey may have taken, which I suspect is not much, if anything, is lost. So it just goes to show you that material things aren't worth much. One good thing about this media, though, is that I can preserve these messages for eternity. It's not like my paper diaries of all the years, and my stories, which I have published some online, thank God, and these audio tapes, which will probably go into oblivion along with the paper stuff. But what I put online here should remain forever. Long after I'm dust and bones in the wind, God willing, these messages will remain. And so this is a test message, a test diary entry. I have to see how much memory it requires to store this, and I may make these from time to time, but maybe a monthly entry or a weekly entry. Do a week summary and put it on a CD. That might be the best way to handle this, instead of doing it daily. Take notes on a daily basis, and then go ahead and do this sort of recording, put it on a CD. Maybe that's a little more durable than the tape or the paper, and upload these to the cloud here, and perhaps they'll remain to be read at a later time, if anybody really gives a damn, which I'm beginning to think they really don't. So more later, as I say in the tapes.